Folks, I had to do it to them. We're talking about Coinbase today. I've said a lot about Coinbase, and I think it's worth mentioning. The stock's down 13% after their first ever earnings report. Let's take a peek at this earnings report and see what's going on. First, we look at since IPO. Look at the performance since IPO. The stock really plummeted after IPO. I mean, we're talking about 30+% declines, and then saw some fortune in the month of October, up 50% since that point, and then proceeds to fall yet again, another 13%. Still above the $300 range, so not quite testing their lows, but a massive, massive drop here in the short term. So obviously volatility all over the stock, which isn't a shocker at any means. So let's take a look at these earnings and see what the issue is. So GAAP EPS line of $1.62 misses by 19 cents, and this is a very big rarity here when you're talking about companies that are IPOing. IPOs nowadays, you don't see any companies that actually produce a profit line. And here's a profit line that's actually a beat here from Coinbase, which is nice to see. But from a revenue standpoint, that's why people are buying this stock. $1.3 billion, up 350% year over year is massive. But it missed by $270 million. The expectations were a lot higher than even that. Expected to hit $1.5 billion. So the stock obviously plummeted for mostly that reason, and I think there's good reasons why that's the case. For sure, there's a good reasons why. So GAAP EPS line of $1.62 versus a $6.42 quarter over quarter. So this quarter's not quite what they might have expected. And you see off the stock performance, it's pretty crazy. So this is a stock that trades at a very high multiple for a pretty decent reason. It's because of the growth in the crypto market. $75 billion market cap on this company. I mean, that's pretty darn high for a company last year that revenue just over $1 billion. Now, obviously, when you look this year, they're going to be revenuing closer to the $6 to $7 billion line, which will be around 10 times that value, a little bit higher than that, but not incredibly expensive compared to what it's been trading at as far as IPO is concerned. So when you consider where it's dropping to. And what's the reason for this dip in terms of revenue? Well, I think we can see it in many reasons. Monthly transactions down 16% quarter over quarter. Did beat the estimate, though, in that aspect. Trading volume was down 29% quarter over quarter. Still beat the estimate. Retail trading volume down 36% quarter over quarter. Didn't quite hit the estimate there. Institutional trading volume at $234 billion, down 26%. Beat the estimate. But the assets on the platform did rise 42% quarter to quarter. So more people are really buying more into crypto. But part of the reason why the volume was down, it's because of crypto volatility. That's one thing you need to consider. And you've seen it with stock brokerages before too. In the times in which the market is a lot more volatile, the volume obviously is increased. And that benefits the stock traders. I mean, it benefits the brokerages. It really does. And Coinbase is really, in essence, a brokerage in that aspect. And a time in which you see more of a stabilized aspect and even just a steady decline in terms of pricing, in terms of crypto, you're going to see these numbers decline. So it's a very dependent company on those aspects. So, and just to put that into consideration, obviously we look at that and we look at something like Bitcoin, and you look at historical performance. Really, what's worth looking at is if we look at the 1 month standpoint, the stock's seen, or the coin itself has seen some rise, but all things considered, still flat when you're talking about nearly, since highs it saw in April, it hasn't moved all that much. And again, I think that impacts your overall trading volume. I mean, it really does. And you think about something like Ethereum, I mean, we're kind of in a similar boat here. Ethereum price, coin market cap, that's what I'm talking about, baby. So you see a similar number. Obviously, don't look at the 1 day. You look at a 3 months aspect. There's been a steady rise here with Ethereum, actually. So Ethereum ain't playing around. Let me just tell you, Ethereum's not playing around recently. I was incorrect on Ethereum. Good golly, look at this! Look at this performance. Great stuff. But so there's a couple reasons why you see this decline, though. But again, I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. We look at the shareholder letter here, worth looking at as it loads. Trust me, it'll load. I preloaded it, I promise you. So, shareholder letter. Is there anything super exciting in this? Well, it's hard to say. They claim it was a strong quarter for the Coinbase products. Very great for them. Oh, let me see if I can zoom this. Oh, you stinker. You stinker. Let me scroll over. Let me view as a PDF. Now that's better. Now that's better, folks. I hope you're excited because I can figure out technology. That's a waste of a page, in my opinion. So strong quarter for them, as they mentioned. So they entered quarter 3 with softer crypto market conditions, as I mentioned, driven by low volatility and declining crypto asset prices, as I mentioned. So that is, again, a highly impactful thing for them. And you look at monthly transaction users, basically your user metrics that you get for like a company that's, like a social media company. You look at these transacting users, it's pretty important. And you see the numbers have, they declined quite a bit from last quarter because there was a lot more volatility last quarter, so a lot more people using it. So it depends on volatility, what that looks like. Trading volume, obviously, wasn't quite where it was in Q1 of 2021, which is kind of a shocker in that aspect. But assets on platform rose quite a bit. And again, because of Q2, some crypto value declining, that's why you see the assets on platform decrease there as well. Revenue, obviously big growth year over year, but you look quarter over quarter, it was $2 billion last quarter and 1.5 in Q1. So it's not like there's a steady flow necessarily in terms of revenue on this company. It's one that's kind of dependent on the market conditions for crypto for them to perform well. So it's kind of an interesting stock to get into because they're very dependent on the crypto market. So it's kind of, it really is a crypto investment without actually directly investing in crypto. I may rather invest in crypto than Coinbase, though, personally. Net income line, again, same premise here. It's highly dependent on market conditions, what they're able to do in that aspect. So nothing's incredibly exciting, in my perspective there. What a weird chart to show. Internet versus crypto adoption. They're on the same exact trajectory line, which obviously means that it's only going positive, which again, more people, and I've mentioned it before, crypto is going places. The issue with crypto, though, is that people, I think, are under the impression that every single crypto is going to be accepted and valuable everywhere, but it just isn't. There are going to be a couple viable cryptocurrencies that are used. I think people need to know this, first and foremost. Something like Bitcoin, Ethereum. There are going to be several that are used, and there's going to be a whole lot that aren't used, like Dogecoin, Shiba, garbage. Those ones are ones that will never get used and will not actually be valuable when you're talking about future prospects. So just a tangent on crypto, but just weird to show that chart. I don't know. In my perspective, you can see in the platform, they're growing in terms of their categories that they kind of like. They want the non-invest only categories going up, and the both invest and non-invest categories going up. Or really, let's be clear, they just want the blue one growing. That's what they want. They want it to overtake the red here, which it actually saw a decent bit of growth in the last quarter here, but again, that's because of crypto prices, so people not trading as much. Not a shocker. So obviously they're going to be talking about different assets, increase in different assets traded on the platform, which is good for them. They'll need to do that as well. Coinbase NFT, get that out of here. We don't want to talk about non-fungible tokens because that one makes me upset because it's just fake garbage. Financial overview. I'm just going to skip here from that perspective and look at the balance sheet on this company, because again, I think that's the most important aspect here. They can talk about all this if they want to. I definitely would warrant, if you're going to be investing in Coinbase, you look at all of these things, all these wasted pages. I mean, it's garbage wasted pages. As far as Outlook, we'll look at Outlook. We will. So in Q4, so the crypto market has increased roughly 35%. So again, consider that in consideration. Next quarter should be a lot better than this quarter because of the fact that the crypto market's on its way up. People will be buying a lot more. For the full year, they can't give they give a high and low scenario, so they can't give an actual necessarily fair estimate here, but they're expecting average retail monthly transaction users at 8.5 in the high scenario compared to 8 in the low scenario. So quite a wide variety. I mean, it's quite a wide range, so keep that in consideration. Quite a wide range. Can I get some numbers here? Coinbase, how much does someone have to scroll? Here it is. Here it is, baby. Total current assets here. 9 months comparison. $15.6 or $50.8 billion compared to $5 billion. Massive growth in the cash position as well as the customer custodial funds. So that's all right. That's all right. Then you look at the total current liabilities sitting at 9.6 compared to 4.2. That grew quite a bit as well. Total liabilities in general grew by a massive number as well. 13 billion compared to 14.3. So shareholder equity saw actually a pretty decent increase when you're looking at a 9-month standpoint. 5 billion, 5.3 compared to 963 million. So massive increase actually in the equity, which is good for them, and I think it's definitely an avenue where they can make quite a bit of margin when you're looking at these financial institutions. They have a lot of opportunity to make this margin. Now, when you get back to the stock's value, and after a massive hit today, this is a stock that's going to be trading at a valuation, a market clap. Oh, don't mind if I do. A market cap closer to really right around the $65 billion line, which is cheaper, but keep into consideration they might do $8 billion this year, maybe a little bit over that. It's trading relatively high for a company that is very volatile in terms of its revenue. There's not really consistency in that aspect, so this is an investment I think you're more than welcome to get into. Just know that there are risks that come with it, and those risks include 13% swings in a matter of a day. And it could be in the upward direction too. So, and again, you can see that throughout the year of it being public. This thing goes up, down, all around. Welcome to Jay Smith Town. So that's what I got for you. I'm going to bed, clearly. Have a good one.